My name is Jessica Morgan. I'm a 4-year-old single mother living in a modest duplex apartment in Charleston, South Carolina. After my divorce 3 years ago, managed to hold on to my half of the property thanks to a decent settlement I rented out. The other half, to help cover bills, life wasn't glamorous, but I was getting by raising my 12-year-old son, Caleb, working remotely as a customer service rep, and trying to find peace in the little things when my last tenant moved out suddenly. I listed the unit online with fair rent and minimal conditions. That's when Ryan Carter came along. Ryan was 28. Recently moved to Charleston from Ohio, and he had the kind of polite demeanor that made you feel immediately at ease. He was tall, lean, with kind eyes and a quiet way of speaking. He said he was trying to start over after losing his job and going through a tough breakup. Something about him, his honesty, maybe made me take a chance. I let him move in the very next day at first. Ryan was the ideal tenant. He was respectful, kept his place tidy, and even helped me take Caleb's bike in for repairs once we'd sometimes cross paths in the driveway or share small talk while watering a lawn. He told me he was doing freelance graphic design online to make ends meet. I respected the hustle. But by the second month, he was late on rent. Jessica. "I'm really sorry," he said one morning, standing at my door, his face tired, but sincere. "I had a client cancel last minute. I need just 2 more weeks. I wanted to be firm." I'd been burned before by tenants with promises that never came through, but something in his eyes made me pause. "I'll give you 2 weeks," I said, "but after that, I need the full amount, or I'll have to look for someone else. I can't afford to carry both sides." "Thank you, I promise I'll make this right." 2 weeks passed, and then another. No rent, no explanation. I finally confronted him one evening as he came back from a grocery run. "Ryan, it's been over a month." I said, "What's going on?" He looked down, then met my eyes with visible shame. "I haven't been able to land anything steady. I've applied for jobs everywhere. I even walked dogs for a few days. I'm trying." Jessica, I swear I was angry, frustrated, but I also remembered what it felt like to be lost, to feel like you were trying everything and getting nowhere. So I made him a deal. "Here's the thing," I said, crossing my arms. "I can't keep covering your rent, but I could use some help around the house. Yard work, groceries, errands. I'm a single mom working full-time. If you pitch in consistently, I'll reduce your rent until you get back on your feet." He blinked as if not expecting any offer at all. "Wait, are you serious? I'm not offering charity?" "Ryan, I'm offering a trade. You do work, I reduce the rent. Fair?" He nodded slowly. "More than fair. Thank you." Jessica, from that day, Ryan became more than just a tenant. He mowed the lawn, fixed the leaky sink in the laundry room, and even helped Caleb with his science project. One night when I was tied up with work, I started noticing his kindness more. He brought in my groceries when it rained. He fixed the porch light without asking. He even offered to repaint my living room, saying it needed a fresher color. It was hard not to notice how much he'd become part of our everyday lives. One evening, Caleb asked, "Is Ryan like your boyfriend or something?" I laughed it off. "No, sweetheart. He's just helping out," but deep down, I wondered if there was something more growing between us, something unspoken. A few weeks later, Ryan finally landed a job at a local marketing agency. It was part-time but steady. He paid part of his back rent the very next day. "You kept your word," I said, smiling. "I told you I would," he replied. From then on, things seemed lighter between us. He still helped out around the house, even though he didn't have to anymore. One Saturday, we took Caleb to the beach together. It felt like a little family, even if I didn't want to admit it. But life is never as simple as a Hallmark movie. One afternoon, a woman knocked on my door. She was about my age, well-dressed with tired eyes. "I'm sorry to bother you," she said. "I'm looking for Ryan Carter. Is he here?" "He lives in the other unit." "May I ask who's calling?" "I'm his sister, Danielle." That night, Ryan came over looking flustered. "I'm sorry about my sister showing up like that. She means well. She just worries. She said she hadn't heard from you in months." I said gently, "Is everything okay?" He hesitated. I wasn't entirely honest with you. When I moved in, I wasn't just starting over after a breakup. I was recovering from a breakdown. I lost my job because of it. I shut out my family. I didn't know how to ask for help. I sat quietly, letting his words sink in. "Why tell me now?" I asked. "Because you gave me something. I didn't think I deserved kindness, and I don't want to build anything here on lies." I didn't say anything for a long time. Then I reached for his hand. You're not the only one who's been broken before. Orion, the silence between us said more than words could over the next few months. Our connection deepened. There were no grand declarations, no dramatic confessions, just small moments. A shared meal, an extra blanket on my porch swing, a smile. That lingered too long. Caleb grew fond of him. I found myself relying on Ryan more than I expected, not just for help, but for presence. But one night, it all nearly came undone. I had a hard day, work pressure, Caleb acting out a nasty migraine. When I came home and found the kitchen a mess after I'd asked Caleb to clean, I snapped. Ryan tried to calm me, but I lashed out at him. You're not Caleb's father? Stop pretending this is your home. The words hit harder than I intended. Ryan stood frozen for a moment, then quietly said, You're right. I'm sorry. He went back to his side of the duplex for the first time in months. The silence between us felt unbearable the next day. He brought over a note. It read, Jessica, you're right. I'm not his father. I'm not your partner. I'm not even a good tenant. But I care about both of you, maybe too much. I've found another apartment. Across town. I'll be moving by the end of the week. Thank you for everything. Ryan, I felt my chest tighten that night. Caleb asked, Did Ryan do something wrong? No. I whispered I did. I couldn't let him leave, not like that. The next morning, I went to his door. He opened it, surprised I didn't mean what I said. I began, You're part of this home, whether you realize it or not. I pushed you away because I got scared. Scared of what of needing someone again. Losing control, of feeling something real. He looked at me for a long time. You don't have to do this out of guilt. Jess, I'm not. I'm doing it because I care. He didn't move, neither did I. Then slowly, he pulled me into a hug, a long, deep hug that said more than words ever could. Ryan didn't move out. He stayed. He kept his job, picked up more freelance work, and eventually rented the full unit at regular price again. But we both knew we were more than just landlord and tenant now. We were partners, friends, something growing into love, one day at a time, and it all began with a simple deal.